everybody, it's JJ Conway. I'm here with my new intern. We are testing out the new studio, and the first thing I noticed is she is way bigger than me, and I know I've got her by like 3 or 4 sizes. So it must be the camera angle or the positioning of the chairs. Because I'll bet if we swapped chairs, I would look bigger than you because whatever's closest to the camera looks the biggest.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we are just testing out the studio. Some of y'all have seen this studio. We used it to interview candidate Sherman Edwards. None of the other candidates would respond, but we went ahead and interviewed him. It was a fantastic interview, and he did win the election, by the way. And you might have seen this briefly in Juneteenth Legacy, and then I went away for summer travel, and so now we're dusting everything back off, and we're getting ready to go again. We're gonna just test out. We've got cameras outside looking in the studio. We're trying to set it up so that if you come into Stephenville, you can come upstairs and watch the show. But for today, we're just gonna test it out with one segment. And I'm going to ask the beautiful CLO to read our question today while I drink my yummy tea to go. They did not sponsor this episode, but you know what? I'll be looking for sponsors soon. So be able to get your requests in. CLO, what's our question of the day?
Today's question of the day is, what old lady fashions need to die?
Okay. So I was going to try to laugh on purpose, but then I actually started to choke on my food. That is probably a question from one of my church ladies, but it's actually relevant financially because there are a lot of fashions out there that were considered immodest back when I was young. And so but they're hard to find today. And so to find them costs a lot of time and money. So if you were going to ask me, and in fact, you know what? Problem number 2 with the studio, I can't reach the computer from here to get the comments. So in the future, for those listening or watching, we are going to have Cielo manning the computer while we do some of these during the Wealth Building Wednesdays when she's in studio with me. But for today, I'm just going to mosey on over here. See, look. I look more normal size now. It's the position of the chairs, but I'm not moving my chair because my chair is set to my mic. Okay, let me grab this. If you are watching live, or if you're watching live, or even if you're not watching live, go ahead and drop me a comment because I want to know, first of all, can you even see and hear us with this setup? And second of all, do you like the aesthetic, or what might you change? Okay. So first old lady fashion that I think needs to die is stockings. Because first of all, nobody wears stockings anymore. And do you wear stockings? Does your mom make you wear stockings to church and stuff? Have you ever worn stockings?
No.
Does your mom wear stockings?
No.
Does your grandma wear stockings?
I think sometimes whenever they go to mass.
Okay, so there are occasionally stockings in your house, but most of the time, not at all. No. I'm not trying to tell her business. I'm just saying, ain't nobody I know out here wearing stockings. And it's so hilarious because I travel a lot with the speaking career. And hey, I'm so glad you're online. We're just playing around in the new studio. We picked a funny topic. We're gonna change into the conference room for Bible study. But we'd love to hear your thought. What old lady fashions need to just die? And we are on the topic of stockings. So I travel a lot for my speaking. And one of the things that I've discovered is I go to people's churches, and almost nobody wears stockings anymore in their day-to-day church life, except maybe on Sundays, if they do at all. Mm-hmm. And but when we all get to our big church meetings, I notice everybody's rushing to find them. Well, you can't hardly find them anymore. In fact, last year we had a ladies' meeting in Dallas. And I drove one of the ministers around to several stores. We drove around for like an hour trying to find stockings because nobody sells them anymore. And we finally found some. They were $10 a pair for these ugly looking. They look like the old dollar store ones. And if you ever see the old ladies with the lines on their on their legs, like their stockings are too big, well, that's all they sell now. So that's my first old lady fashion that needs to die. All right. Let's see what's else. Actually, let's see what time it is. I can't see that time. Is it 4:30 already? 4:35?
36.
Okay. All right, my next old lady fashion. Wait a second. So y'all don't see anybody ever wearing stockings anymore? Like
I
not at school, like the teachers don't wear stockings?
no, but I think for FFA that some of the girls are required to wear stockings.
Okay. Well, I mean, like the dance team and all
Yeah.
them, they wear stockings, but I think that's because that's part of the uniform.
Uniform.
Yeah, and it's also the right kind actually helps support your circulation and all that stuff. I didn't care about any of that when I was younger. I care about it now, but you can't find those as easily anymore. Um, uh, the next one I'm thinking is the long skirts. Okay, and this may not apply to everybody because everybody doesn't have this, but when I first gave my life to the Lord, one of the things that they did is they would have the ladies wearing skirts past their knees, or if you didn't, you would put something over your knees to cover your knees so people weren't looking up your skirt. And the older I get and the more bigger I get and the less easy it is to keep my thighs together, the more important that gets. Because even if you cross up the legs, you still and I've had young ladies who don't care about that, but I've sat across from them and looked right up to their underwear and been like, that is not a good look for anybody, especially if you're trying to be modest. But people don't seem to care about that stuff as much anymore. So one of the things that I've noticed is in the stores, it's actually really hard to find clothes that are modest, that actually make a young lady look nice, but look modest. And so I wonder if the culture is changing, like things that we thought as my age were suggestive or signified to men that we wanted to jump in bed with them or something, if maybe those things don't mean that anymore. What do you think?
I think the culture has definitely changed. Like some of the clothes that some students say that are modest, I guess in their terms, don't look as modest to me as like how I would like it.
Oh, really?
So
So you're the wrong person to ask because you think people need to be more modest. You're dating my son, and I would like people to be more modest around him. I hope you have not gone, and please don't ever go to go look up what the girls are wearing in college. You will be in college next year. You will be like, oh, dear. Well, what do you think's behind all that?
I think it's more social media getting all like the praise and stuff for like social media influencers, what they're wearing
Mm-hmm.
lots of days.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Well, I can see some of that. Now, this is going to be kind of awkward because the sound bite can really go the wrong way if somebody takes a sound bite of what I'm about to say. But since my little one is very theatrical and dramatic and he likes to act and sing,
mhm.
and we've got him auditioned for The Promise this year. And so he's going to be in The Promise at Glen Rose. I hope he'll do the Christmas show as well. And the Passover, I hope that they'll be able to continue so he can just year round develop his acting skills in this acting group troupe. Is that what you call them? I'm not sure. But because of that, I started researching like boy bands and girl bands and how these young people go to actually being famous. And one of the things that really, really surprised me is the difference between what guys do to become famous versus what women do to become famous. And for the girl groups, I mean, all of them were being taken advantage of. That's why I, as a parent, was looking at this like, okay, what are the scams I have to watch out for? Because everybody's going to try and tell me my baby's got talent and they want me to sign on the dotted line and give them money or whatever. So what are the scams? That's why I was watching it. They were all getting scammed. But the girls, the girl groups, they were having to really present themselves very sexy, dance and sing in heels, do all these provocative moves for anybody to even take a look at them. Whereas the boys basically needed to look good and have the heartthrob
Yeah.
look and be cool. They might do some flips or something, but like one's the nerdy one, one's the suave one's the one who likes to eat or whatever it is. I was like such a night and day difference for the standard for girls versus the standard for men. At the same time, though, I know like when I go to the store and I'm trying to buy dresses, they come in super high, medium high, or all the way down to the floor,
Yeah.
which me being short does not work very well. Even if I could still wear my big tall heels. Okay. So for me, I would like skirts at least to be seen as modest. Like when I was a kid at the Air Force Academy, if your pants or your skirt was longer than your hands, it was okay. And I think something would go a much more way, but that doesn't sound like it really affects your generation like it does mine.
Mhm.
Like another thing that for me, I don't feel like we should tell young people they need to have their skirts all the way down to the ground if they're in church or anything.
Yeah.
But like if you bend over, I should not be able to see your underwear because your skirt rides up. And for some of us, that's a bigger problem than others. Because like girls who have no booty, they don't have to worry about it. But like me, I got a lot of junk in this trunk. And even just putting a skirt on, it's hard to find a skirt that doesn't raise up in the back, like a 4 or 5 inch raise up because I
Yeah.
got so much curvature back here. But yeah, I think that's another one that needs to die. I think we've tested this enough. People keep jumping on and then they jump off, and nobody is leaving comments. So that's making me wonder if the sound quality is not good, or I'm sure the topic is, I'm sure we're engaging.
Mhm.
Okay. But because nobody's giving me comments or something about the broadcast is not really appealing at the moment. And it could just be the time of day. I don't normally post at this time of day, but it could also be a different problem. So we're going to stop the podcast. We're going to get set up for Bible study, and we will review everything and see how it goes. If you can hear me okay, let me know. But we're going to go ahead and sign off for today. Thank you for helping me test the
Thank
system.
you.
So you can see over there where the comments go. That's what I'm going to have you do is like when you click the comments, when you click the comments, see it shows up on the thing, but we don't have any today. That's why I think something might be wrong with the broadcast, that it'll show up. And so then I can address it. And so that's the kind of thing that you'll be helping me with and asking the questions and maybe even being on the screen. Y'all like Cielo? Doesn't she have a great screen presence? Okay. All right. I guess that's it. Y'all take care. Bye. Be blessed.